eBay dropshippers, my minions. What's up, guys? Another video from me. Maybe you're sick of me by now, maybe you're not. Keep watching, you might actually learn something. So in this video, basically what I want to talk about is optimizing titles on eBay. So if you're dropshipping on eBay, there's different ways to draw traffic to your listing. What a lot of people do is they optimize the titles. What does optimizing titles means? So basically they just simply find a listing from another store, they copy the entire thing, top to bottom, pictures, description, bullet points, all that stuff. They completely copy it. The only thing they actually changed is the title. So the bold thing that you see up top, right? So rather than they say Nike Air Max 95 blue, which might be the manufacturer's description, or the manufacturer's title, they would say men's stylish Air Max 95, men's baby blue, hot 2018, back to school, something like that. Something that they're keywords. All you're really doing is your keyword stuffing. So basically with the title, you have 80 characters and including spaces, I believe, and that's what you have. Now, what a lot of people do to get traffic is, or at least what they used to do in the past, is they'd simply optimize the title. And here's why. And yes, in 2018, it absolutely does work, and I'll explain to you exactly why. So when someone searches something in eBay, eBay's algorithm called Cassini, which no one really knows exactly, but basically through the tens and tens of thousands of listings I have, I've learned an awful lot just through trial and error. They have different ways that someone can search. So they search keywords for a product, and everyone uses different keywords to find products. I've used this as an example in the back. Some people call soda a Coke, they call it soda. In the Midwest, we call it pop. It's a different name, so people can use, you might have the word Coke in your description if for whatever you're selling. Maybe you're selling a 6-pack of Coke, or I'm sorry, a soda. But if somebody types in pop, and I have pop in my description, or I'm sorry, in my title, I have a lot better chance of the person finding me. So what people do is they optimize the titles. Now the reason it works is because there's a few different ways, but two main ways that people can set up their search on eBay. They can search based off best match, which is what eBay automatically reverts your search to. So if you don't change anything, it comes up as best match. So in large part, it solely takes the words that the searcher or the potential buyer puts into the search box, and it goes and looks for titles that are similar to that. And there's other things that are involved also. But just to oversimplify it, that's what they do. And if you have all the same words, you have good likelihood of your listing popping up. The other way an eBay buyer can set up their search is lowest price first, or highest price first, or closest to you, or farthest from you. Don't worry about any of that. We're not going after those customers, because if a customer wants the lowest price first, it's not going to be us as a drop shipper in most cases. If they're looking up for highest price first, I don't know why they would, but typically we're not the highest priced either. If they're looking for closest, which basically means, it looks at their zip code, so they have a zip code in California, and you're located in California as well, it's going to give relevance to that search result. We're not looking for closest to, trying to find people that are closest to us and market to them. If they do and they happen to be in our state and they use that, great, that's great, but that's not where we're looking. We're actually trying to find people, and we're actually marketing people with best match. So goes back to my main point. Does optimizing titles still work in 2018? It absolutely does. And like I just said, it's because of the best match. The best match is right there. If you have an optimized title that's different than everyone else's and you get a ton of them, some of those are going to sell. Is it time consuming? Yes. Does it, is it difficult at first? Absolutely. It's not difficult. It just really is time consuming. It takes a lot of time to do. But that's something you can outsource, and over time it gets a lot better. But optimizing titles is probably the best way to make the most money in general on eBay with the least amount of products. So I mean, you can go and make more money if you list 100,000 products and you're literally making pennies on every sale, and it's just volume, and you're selling tens of thousands of products a month. But there's a lot, you have to get a staff along with that, and there's other things. So for a 1 or 2 person show, optimizing titles is probably the best. I don't do it. I scrape, and there's reasons for that. But the people optimize the titles in general based off the number of listings. So if I have 10,000 listings and they have 10,000 listings, and they optimize all their titles, all 10,000 are unique, and I just scraped other eBay sellers, they're going to have more sales. Their sales are going to be up here, mine are going to be up here. I'm okay with this because what I do is I build a store and I, scrape a whole bunch of other existing listings. I lower the price a little bit or a lot, and I use volume, and I make a good amount of money. I might make, say, $5,000 while they make $10,000. What I'm going to do, or what I do is I simply make multiple stores. So while it takes a lot less time, it's a lot easier, and I only have $5,000 in profit, and they have $10,000 maybe a month in profit. If I build 2 stores, I'm then up, same with them. And this is all, my way my way can be outsourced relatively easy. You can outsource this as well, but it's a lot more difficult because they're using keywords. And say if you're selling in the United States, you want terms and words that people that live in the United States and that culture are going to use. And so if you're living in the United States and you're doing it yourself, you can, in general, know what terms people might use and optimize the titles. It's a lot harder to outsource it because somebody in the Philippines, India, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe, wherever you might be able to find people that are going to work for cheaper, yes, they can work for cheaper, and you can get a lot done with them. But the problem is their vocabulary is different. They use different terminology than you use, and that's really going to hurt your optimized titles. It can be done, it's just not as successful. So yes, optimized titles does work. It is probably the best way, but it's the most amount of work. And if you want to invest the time, great. I absolutely suggest you invest the time because it works. But just know that when you optimize the titles, it's work. And also you run the risk of someone coming in and doing what I do and sniping and steal it, which I will do. I'll tell you straight up, I'm going to do it. So you might have to eventually lower your prices, but it does work and it will sustain you. And the reason it will sustain you, even though some people like me are going to snipe and take away some of your listings, is that once let's say you have a product you sell for $40, you have your own optimized listing, you sold 40 of them, right, or 50 or 100 of them, eBay is going to look at that listing and say, holy crap, that's good. When people come to your listing, they realize it's relevant and they're going to rank you really high. So even though someone comes up like me and snipes it and charges 38 and copies your title, in some respects, oftentimes you're still going to be higher in the search results because while my price is lower and it's the same product, they know this guy, has actually sold a lot and it's a legitimate listing. Not that mine isn't legitimate, but as far as their algorithm works. So it works and you're still going to sustain, even though you sell 10,000, if a whole bunch of people snipe your listings, you're still going to sell, say, 8,000. You're still doing good. So optimized titles does work in 2018. If you want to put the effort, it's probably the best way to make the most amount of money on drop shipping, unless you're one to list like 100,000 and make pennies and optimize it all and have a big staff, which most people don't want to do. Optimized titles is the way to go in general, even though I don't do it because I snipe, because I'm just like that way. I don't care. See you guys.